Today we're going to do a synthesis or a comparison of two parables of things that have been found. Does anyone remember what we said a parable was? A parable is a story that Jesus uses to teach a lesson. That's right. So the two parables that we'll be looking at are the found sheep and the found coin. So remember the lesson on the Good Shepherd? People asked who the Good Shepherd was, and what did Jesus respond? He said, I am the Good Shepherd. Can you tell me some of the things you remember about what the Good Shepherd does for the sheep? He calls them by name, and they listen, right? They listen. He leads them out. Makes sure he takes care of them. Makes sure that he has food and plenty of water. And he protects them. And if a wolf comes, he'll lay down his life for the sheep. Yeah, that's right. So this is another story that involves a shepherd. Remember, the people at that time who lived in Israel knew all about shepherds, so they understand the teaching that's going to go with it because they understand what a shepherd does. So this is the story, the parable of the lost, or we like to say, the found sheep. So we'll light the candle, and I'll read this passage from the Gospel of Luke. Before this happens, Jesus is questioned by the tax collectors, and he's questioned by the scribes, and they're questioning him about why he will eat with sinners. And this is the parable he says. So he told them this parable. Which one of you, having 100 sheep and losing one of them, does not leave the 99 in the wilderness and go after the one that is lost until he finds it? When he has found it, he lays it on his shoulders and rejoices. And when he comes home, he calls together his friends and neighbors, saying to them, Rejoice with me, for I have found my sheep that was lost. Just so, I tell you, there will be more joy in heaven over one sinner who repents than over 99 righteous persons who need no repentance. That's interesting, right? So in this parable, I wonder how the shepherd feels about the sheep. If one is lost and he goes after it, he must love it, right? He loves all his sheep. I wonder, what would it be like when he gets to the fold at the end of the day and finds a sheep missing? Imagine all day long that shepherd has been gathering all the sheep, bringing them back into the fold, and now he sees that one is missing. I wonder how the shepherd feels then. Worried or frightened for the sheep. I wonder how the shepherd feels when he is out looking for the sheep. Maybe he's anxious, yeah, and more worried. I wonder how he feels when he first sees the lost sheep. Now he has spied it, he sees it. What do you think? How does he feel? I'm sure he was happy and relieved. Yeah. How does he feel? He sees that sheep. I wonder what it would be like when he arrives with the found sheep home. What happens when he brings that sheep and all the other sheep see it and all the other shepherds see that he has that sheep? I wonder what it is. In the reading it says there's great rejoicing. What does great rejoicing look like? Great rejoicing. It's a big celebration, that's right. It's a party. I found what I had lost. I wonder who in the story the shepherd might be. Jesus. I wonder who these sheep might really be. That's us, that's right, us. How long does the shepherd look for the sheep? What does it say? How long does the shepherd look for his sheep? Until he finds the sheep, right? He never stops looking. Wow. He never stops looking. So if we're the sheep and we've become lost, and Jesus is our shepherd, does he come to look for us? And how long will he look for us? He'll never stop looking. What are some of the things that get in the way of the things that make us be lost? What causes us to be lost from our shepherd, Jesus? When we're unkind, when we do things we're not supposed to. And what do we call those things? Sins, that's right. Our sin causes us to be lost. And the more we sin, the more lost we can get. But what's the good news? A shepherd never stops looking. I just want to look at this picture again. It looks like the sheep's in a very difficult place and will have a hard time getting out of there. And look, the shepherd really has to go out of his way to try to save the sheep. And he's doing it because he loves the sheep. So now we'll look at the next parable. This is the parable of the found coin. And in this picture, you'll see there's a woman looking for something in this cave-like home. Remember, things were probably a lot more difficult to find without electric light, without electricity, without wood floors or linoleum floors or tile floors. This is just a dirt floor, which can easily get divots in it and places for things to hide in. Can get little holes in it. So this woman is looking for her coin in this parable. It would be a valuable coin for the woman. Women generally didn't have a lot of possessions, but if she was given coins for her wedding, she probably would wear it on as a necklace around her neck. You've seen maybe pictures of necklaces with coins on them, fancy gold coins. And she lost one, and it's very valuable, and it's very precious to her because it was a gift maybe, or it's just precious to her, and she really wants to find it. So last week, we talked about the true vine. Can you remember what we said? Who did we say the true vine is? Jesus. Jesus says, I am the true vine. And then who are the branches? We are. Yes, we are the branches. And then the vine dresser. Who did we say the vine dresser was? God the Father, that's right. And we talked about the blocks in the flow of the sap, remember? If blocks get in the way of the sap, the branch can't stay healthy. And we need that sap to flow. On our vine with Jesus, that sap would be grace. And the blocks would be sin. Remember we talked about that? So this parable of the found coin is going to help us understand forgiveness and God's mercy, which takes away the blocks that cause the blocks and the sin that causes disruption in our lives, that separates us from the vine. So we know the coins are valuable. The house had floors. It was easy to something to lose. And we've seen the picture. And I'm going to leave it out here so that you all can look at the picture and think about it as I read this scripture passage, also from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 15. Or, what woman having 10 silver coins, if she loses one coin, does not light a lamp and sweep the house and seek diligently until she finds it? Seeks diligently until she finds it. And when she has found it, she calls together her friends and neighbors, saying, Rejoice with me, for I have found the coin which I had lost. Just so, I tell you, there is joy before the angels of God over one sinner who repents. Sounds familiar, right? So diligently, anyone know what that word means? Diligent, it means to be really good at it, to not stop. It's kind of like not stopping till you find it. So it's looking everywhere. She's just checking every place and checking it twice. And she's maybe even saying prayers and checking again. She lifts a lamp and sweeps the house. When she did find it, she called her friends and neighbors. Why? She wanted to celebrate, rejoice. When we have good news, we want to share it too. If you got a good report card, next time you see your grandparents, you want to tell your grandparents, because maybe they're going to give you a little bit of money or something. I don't know. But you want to make sure you want to celebrate. First Communion is going to be coming up in May. You want to celebrate that. A lot of people are going to come celebrate with you. That's a time to be rejoicing. So, in this story, who is this woman? In the parable, who does this woman represent? Jesus, God, yeah. And then who is the lost coin? Us. So how is the found sheep like the found coin? Diligent searching. Look till you find, right? Rejoicing, calling people together. All the friends and neighbors, come here. So let's think about this sacrament of reconciliation, which you're going to be receiving in the next few months. And remember, reconciliation means making things better, making peace, balancing things out. So if something's lost, it's found, then that's balanced, that's even now. Bringing things back to where they should be. Reconciliation, that's kind of what we've been talking about when you talk about what you're reconciling with your friend. You're making things come back to the same relationship he had before the break, okay? So in these two stories of the found sheep and the found coin, what is that moment of reconciliation? If they're found, when he finds the sheep, and when she finds her coin, that's right. That's the moment of reconciliation, the moment of being found. It was lost, but now it's found. And then also what happens with the reconciliation? The celebration, that's right. Rejoice, the celebration. The joy of finding is whose joy? Who is joy-filled? That's right, the shepherd and the woman. And they both represent whom? Jesus, God. So we can think about the sacrament of reconciliation as a celebration of joy. Yeah, it's a time to be filled with joy. Let's take a moment to think about this gift of love and joy for us. Oh, isn't it nice? Is it fun to be lost? No, it's scary. Yes, it's no good, not a good feeling. But when we're found, we as the coin or the sheep also feel relief, right? We've been found. We're safe. We're going back home, back to where we're loved. So when we think about that sacrament of reconciliation, it's good for us to think about how we want to feel at the end of it. And to do that, we have to examine our conscience, right? We talked about that when we studied about the sacrament of reconciliation. We have to think about those things that are separating us, that things that are keeping us lost, things that are stopping the grace from getting to us. Think about the beautiful joy we will when we celebrate reconciliation. I wonder if there's another name we could give this sacrament instead of the sacrament of reconciliation. What else could we call it? Sacrament of celebration. But celebration of what? Oh, of being forgiven. Okay. Second chance. Sacrament of being loved and found. Lots of names. So we have much to be thankful for. That our shepherd loves us enough to look until he finds us. So children, what you can do is you can draw your original artwork. I mean, these are nice pictures, but it would be nice for you to do your own original artwork. Or you could just draw your thoughts about these two parables. You can kind of do your own illustration about that. Or you can continue work in your folder on the moral maxims, the reconciliation booklet you should be making, your True Vine pages. A lot of work for you to do. And if everything else is done in your booklet, maybe you could continue to practice your prayers. All right? Thank you very much.